What's up, beautiful people? This is Pretty Girl Love Trap content, and this is my recap slash review for P Valley Season 2, Episode 6, y'all. Whew, child. This was a lot, okay? This was a great episode. Very, very sad. But they did a wonderful job with the execution, I must say. But yes, let's get down in the valley where the ghouls get naked. Okay, and speaking of naked, y'all. Oh Lord, this scene right here. Okay, my neck, my back, lick my and my hey. So lick it now, lick y'all. When I heard Kaya, okay, when I heard my girl Kaya, I was like, okay, taking it back to my college days, okay, but we see Diamond and Big Bone, okay, and they are getting it in, and look at the lighting, y'all. Like P Valley, I've always noticed the job they do with the lighting. Like I could tell it's very specific, and this cinematography is top notch. Like I know I probably mention it every every review, but I have to give credit when credit is due. Like they do such a wonderful job with the lighting and the cinematography, the costuming. Like it's a vibe, y'all. So they are getting it in. It looks like, they've been getting it in for, some time now. Okay. This is probably session number 18. Okay. And of course, we know this is a real life couple, which makes it more, more real. Okay. And I'm just like, child, this is what y'all be doing at the house. This is what y'all be doing at the house. But your boy Diamond over here, his mind is playing tricks on him. Dun, 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 dun. Because yes, he is physically with Big Bone, but his mind and his heart is with Mississippi, okay? Because he's getting in looking at her, but he's seeing Mississippi. I'm like, oh my God, he love that girl. He loves that girl. And I'm like, yeah, we definitely probably have more to see with Diamond in Mississippi, okay? And I'm just like, I ain't gonna lie, that would be a fire couple. That would be a fire couple, but Mississippi got other things she need to be worried about right now, child. So I don't know when that's going to happen. But yeah, y'all, I was just like, oh my God, Diamond, you really still love Mississippi. So after their session, what have you, Big Bo went over there to get some water. So she is looking at Montavious' ring and she's about to touch it. And he was like, not unless you want to have, breasts, growing on your back. I suggest you lay off, okay? But, she does seem surprising in a sense to see it, but I still don't trust it, okay? Like, people have mentioned that they think that Big Bone is somehow connected to Montavious. And I'm starting to believe it, y'all. I am definitely starting to believe it. So, yes, I don't know. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments. So they end up, getting another session in. And yes, this ring is bothersome, y'all. I understand. Diamond has his reasons, but can we put this like in a box or something, like on a little counter? Like I just don't want to have it out and about, child. But I guess that's part of the reason, it's so called protecting everyone because it's out in them streets. Okay, really like in a dining room, but y'all know what I mean, all right? So y'all, it is a Gucci Christmas video up in here, okay? The Hurt Village Hustlers, they out there celebrating and whatnot. And I don't know, could we have found some like other gang colors? I'm just saying, like I just think of Christmas every time I see this gang, y'all. But it is also, the colors of Gucci, so it does work when it comes to Little Murder's attire and his whole getup. But y'all, these colors are just hilarious to me. Like, I can't really take them serious, all right? So they all having a good old time, and we see Big Teak, okay, he over there. It seems like he enjoying a moment, and he's on top of this red car, and we know P Valley, they are very intentional on a lot of the imagery, and we definitely are going to see and hear a lot of things that are very foreshadowing, but I don't know. I can't quite make out this image on top of this vehicle. If it is a image, I think it is. But y'all let me know, what do y'all see? Do y'all see anything on top of this Jeep? It's kind of like, that cloud game. We look at the cloud and you try to see what's up in the sky based on your thoughts. But yeah, let me know what image, if you do see an image on top of the car, because I feel like it's something there, but I can't quite make it out. Okay, but I definitely know they didn't put that, those shapes in there for no reason. Okay, I do feel like I low key see a tail or something, but yeah, y'all, let us sister know. Okay, so look, y'all. Speaking of a Gucci Christmas, it is Christmas. It's Christmas for Big Teak, okay, because Little Murda done bought him a car, all right. And when the camera pans back to Teak, look at this light. Look at this light shining on him. And I'm just like, okay, something is up here. At this point, I'm like, something eerie is going to happen, okay? And I was scared and on my on pins and needles actually the entire episode, because I was just like, okay, what are they trying to tell us right now? Okay. And the sun is shining so light, we can't even see his face. All right. And so this next imagery, y'all, I had to capture this because this is what Big Teak is seeing when Little Murda get out of the car. So it's kind of a transition between Teak's image, if you can see that, and then you also see an image of Little Murda. But if you look closely and carefully, you also see like a image of the devil. Like you see like the tail, which is like the curve red and green stripe. And if you look at the faces combined between Teak and Murda, you kind of see a devil's face. Y'all let me know if y'all notice it too. But I definitely automatically caught this particular image. Okay. So this is genius. This is so genius. Like, whoever's in charge, I'm not sure if this is necessarily credit given to Katori, the writer. But yes, this was scary, but also the bomb dot to the calm. All right. So of course the image comes in full light, and we see Little Murda. Okay, and you can tell he's happy for his homeboy. And I was just so happy that he thought enough of Big Teak to gift him something. That is just such a wonderful gift. Of course, we know in the hip hop world, especially now, like cars and jewelry and stacks of money are the typical gifts that you see between like producers and label heads to artists and vice versa. It's kind of, I feel like it's kind of played out, if you ask me. But I definitely, in this situation, I enjoyed the gesture. You can tell Little Murda really appreciates Big Teak. And, I'm so happy that he felt enough of Teak to gift him this vehicle. So, of course, here's another image of, I love the fact that they're both in this shot and we see everybody kind of looking at Teak and Murda. And he's pretty much just shouting him out. And, he did a bid for, the Hurt Village Hustlers. He always kept it true to the Gizane. So, it was a little homage moment to your boy Teak. Okay. So Teak is so overwhelmed when he gets in the car, he just starts crying. And this actor, I mean, he is just so wonderful, like you could just tell like the thought process of this character at this point. And I felt like he was grateful yet unworthy, and it was sad. It was sad. um and I also felt that he was really in a happy moment, but he truly couldn't be happy. Like, I felt like his tears were tears of sadness, joy, and confusion. Like, I felt so many emotions when I saw this. But Murda is trying to cheer him up. And he eventually, comes out of it per se and starts doing donuts, with the vehicle. So, you know, we're gonna get into, of course, Teak a lot more in the episode. Okay, so we have a cute little scene at the Pike. Okay, so we saw Uncle Clifford. He over there, just sitting in the cut, right? And so Big L comes like in the scene with a little wrench, and we hear a shower running. Okay. And so Big L was like, okay, just give it a few minutes. I mean, sorry, a few seconds. He do a little countdown. And so he was like, whatever, 5, 4, 3, 2, and the water shut off. And your girl Autumn came out. He done turned her water off. Oh my God, I thought of the homie Brillo, the big review. Because he always talk about shutting people's water off, okay, aka killing them. But of course, he's not killing. He's not killing Autumn, but he definitely is literally shutting her water off because she ain't paying him. And I was like, Autumn, you ain't paying the people. You ain't paying the people, Autumn. What happened to the 25K that y'all had in episode 1? Did y'all spend all that already? Child, what in the PPP loan is going up in here? Like, well, I guess because they so-called not a pivotal of a pivotal business. Okay, they're not. What, I forgot the thing of the actual term. But yes, y'all, that was funny to me. And so Clifford, he's holding this little dress up, this little evening gown. He was like, "Girl, what you doing with this dress? Where are you going?" She was like, "Mind your business, all right." And so he in the office with Big L. He's like, "What are you up to, girl? What are you up to?" Okay. And he proceeds to call her Autumn Nightmare. Y'all, when he said Autumn Nightmare, I almost died, okay? I almost peed myself just a little bit, just a teensy weensy little bit, okay? So we also see that I think it was Big L. He was looking at through his Instagram feed, okay? And he saw a little flyer on Instagram with Whisper and Roulette. Okay, they having a whole spades tournament, okay? Bringing the pink to the people, okay? I was like, ooh, I ain't played spades in a minute, y'all. Spades can cause some problems in the Black community, okay? So Clifford, he was mad. He was like, remind me, I need to probably sue these heifers, okay? Because they are definitely doing the copyright infringement up in here, all right? So we see your boy Teak. He's over there at the barbershop getting real crisp. Okay, real so fresh and so clean up in here. And the barber, he's using fire to cut his hair. And I've seen that before, but in this situation, it didn't feel right to me, okay? It didn't feel right. And the barber said, yeah, I'm pretty much gonna have you looking casket sharp. I said we couldn't use any other type of reference to looking nice. But we already know they put that in there for a reason, y'all. And so if y'all pay close attention to the photograph on the right hand side, we see like an artist on the screen, but look at the image behind it. It's an image of the devil, y'all. The devil. Now, I think my logo is kind of covering the horns a little bit, so I apologize for that. But yes, I'm like, okay, I'm scared now. I already was kind of on alert, but at this point, I'm like, yeah, this episode, something's going to happen. And mind you, at the beginning of the episode, there was the verbiage of, the warnings of, suicide and, prevention and all these things, all these trigger warnings per se at the beginning of the episode. So I already knew this episode was going to be heavy. All right. So Murda, he was in there with the, Big Teak at the barbershop. So he steps out because Sean calls him. Okay. He was like, girl, where you been at? I've been blowing your phone up. Like, why you just not calling me back? And so he was like, we need to figure out what's going on with this tour. All right. And she was like, yeah, about that. I'm not going back on the road right now. He was like, what you mean, girl? And, he was like, we need to make this money. And she was like, well, Rome, he tried it. And it took him a minute to, because she was trying to kind of hesitating. And he was like, glad the Negro dead then. I was like, see, not saying that they should low-key be happy Rome is dead, but I just love like the solidarity between them two, y'all. And she also told him like Rome knew about him and Teak, and she told Wode about it. Because if I back up a little bit, when Murda and Teak was in a barbershop, Murda was like, dang, why did Wody F up and die? And Teak was trying to figure out, like, hey, is there, any news as to how? And Murda mentioned that the blogs didn't say how Rome died, okay? Because that's going to come up later on in the episode. So, yes, he's a little taken aback at this point because he's like, how did he know? And I believe she told him there was a video. So yes, he's a little caught off guard. All right, y'all. So Big T comes out, and I was like, oh my God, this sweater is fire, y'all. Like, this sweater is hella fire. They over there talking. And when I saw this sweater, after I realized, I was like, oh, I really like it. But I was like, okay, I feel like this sweater is intentional. I feel like it's intentional. And I actually had to do my Googles, y'all. I had to do my Googles and figure out what if there was a meeting between the King of Hearts, okay? But long story short, in this scene, Murda and Teak are pretty much just they're having a conversation, y'all. And T proceeds to say, enjoy every day like your last. Because they're pretty much trying to figure out what they're going to do for the day. And Murda was like, sure, I ain't got nothing going on. I'm going to slide with you, bro. I'm going to slide with you. And he was like, okay, all right. But back to this sweater, y'all. After I did my Googles, I proceeded to Google the King of Hearts. And Google said, y'all, the King of Hearts is sometimes called the Suicide King because he appears to be sticking his sword into his head. This is a result of centuries of bad copying by English card makers where the king's axe head has disappeared. And I forgot to mention, I also, before I Googled the King of Hearts, I Googled the Joker. And I know that's a different card, but I don't know, for some reason I thought of the Joker. So I'm just going to read a little bit of the synopsis of the Joker movie. And it says, forever alone in a crowd. I'm just going to skip a little ahead. But it also says, the one he paints for his day job as a clown and the guys he projects in a full attempt to feel like he's a part of the world around him, isolated, bullied, disregarded by society. So that those words stuck out because we know there's been a lot of dialogue about society and about Teak and just him being acclimated. Because mind you, Wode and Little Murda picked Teak up as soon as he got released from prison. So this is like truly his first days being back in Chuckalissa as a free man in at least 10 years. So, he's been distracted at this point with the tour, but now he's back home, and we're going to see that he's always been inside his thoughts, but now he's back home where a lot of things happen for him, okay? And we're going to get to that in the future. But I just kind of wanted to note, I'm not sure if you guys were all aware of the King of Hearts card, and I wasn't aware before this, but something told me, girl, go ahead and get the Googling, because they telling you something with this sweater, all right? Because I know those writers, they are very intentional, okay? And so, y'all, the triflinicity of this. Oh, did I make up a word? Triflinicity. I like it. So Mercedes goes to Shell's house to deliver some groceries, y'all. And look at this beautiful house. Look at this beautiful house. And she opens it, and y'all can't tell me that she ain't on that stuff. She on that stuff. She remind me of the lady in Boys in the Hood when Trey found a little baby in the middle of the street, and she was like, "You got any blow?" You got any blow? I know they're painting her as the alcoholic, but either they doing a really good job with the makeup, or she really on that stuff, y'all. So, she's putting the groceries, Mercedes is putting the groceries in the fridge, y'all. And look at this molded fruit here, y'all. Look at the mold on this fruit. And she looked at Shell like, "You trifling heifer. You got my daughter living like this." And so she proceeds to tell Shell, like, "Hey, you called her a mistake." And so Shell was like, "What?" Like, she was kind of low-key in denial, but I didn't necessarily think it was denial all the way at first. I think she just forgot, because she was drunk. She was drunk. And so she was like, "Well, I could take Shell off your hands a little bit." She was like, "Oh, you trying to be slick. You trying to be slick." She said, "No, I'm not. I'm not trying to get custody, but I feel like Terica can do a little better at my house while you get yourself together." And so Shell proceeds to, demean Mercedes and where she lives. And I'm like, I'd rather be in Mercedes' house in a loving home and in this big mansion with molded fruit and this drunk heifer. I'm just saying, okay? And so Mercedes throws this fruit in the trash. And look at the trash, y'all, on the bottom right. Bottles on top of bottles on top of bottoms, okay? And y'all need to take this trash out. See, Terica probably been over there hungry, and doing chores, okay? And Mercedes was like, "Well, how long does it take to drink all this?" Okay, because she's trying to analyze your girl, all right? She was like, "I don't have a problem." I said, "The hell you don't. The hell you don't, girl." Oh, child, just trifling, okay? So I just had to take a picture of Mercedes in these little liquid leggings, child. I was just like, legs, hips, and body. Okay, look at the body. I love her little crop top shirt. Little, I got the power. All right, and I don't know, was that symbolism? Was it showing that in that moment she low key had power over Shell? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. And I love the flowers in the background. I feel like Katori's telling us something in this scene. I'm not quite sure what. But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think, okay? So we at this hot wing castle, y'all. And look at the flames on the logo on the windows, y'all. Like heat, flames, all reminding me of the devil. And look at this little shadow image on the left side of this establishment on the wall. Like it's low-key giving me like kind of devilish vibes. Like, let me know if y'all see anything in that imagery. Like, I feel like they're telling us something right there. But yeah, the hot wing castle. Yeah, y'all. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the hot wings. I'm not a big fan of the hot wings, y'all. So we see Teak and Murda. Okay, Teak and Murda at this hot wing, and they tearing a lemon pepper up. Okay, they had this little thirsty behind waitress. And so Murda was trying to, tell her like, yeah, can you get us some water? Because like Teak ain't interested in her. And he was like, yeah, go get one for yourself too while you at it. He a little thirsty behind. She was like, rude. But y'all, I meant to mention when Murda and Teak were outside of the barbershop, it seems like Teak had plans for the day and Murda was low-key intruding on his plans. Let me know if y'all noticed that. He went along with the program with, him and Murda spending the day together, but he was low-key hesitant, okay? So I also feel like Teak low-key planned this as his last meal. Like, I don't know if I'm reaching or reading too much into it, but it definitely gave me last meal vibes, okay? And so Teak proceeds to ask Murda about Clifford, and he was like, tell me about him. And he was like, well, she prefers to be called her. And they're talking about how times has changed or what have you. And Murda proceeded to ask, he apologized to Teak because he said he's always messing up. He's always messing up. So they have a lovely moment. Murda, caresses his hand a little bit. And he was like, okay, you asked what Cliff is like. He was like, he's like winning the jackpot, eating funnel cake at the fair once a year. He's like, or she's like an eclipse. And I'm just like, you couldn't put any of that on that postcard, boy. You got all this wonderful things to say now, but you was stuck on the postcard situation. Talk about, I guess I love you. But I guess he's getting more in tune of his feelings at this point. But I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Shout out to Mercedes. That was beautiful. Little Murda. Like, I wanted to shed a little thug tear. That was really nice. But you can tell the way Teak looked when Murda was describing how he felt about Clifford. It feels like the way Murda feels about Clifford is how Teak feels about Murda, okay? But he also told him, like, hey, you moved on, which, you had every right to. So we see a little maturity in Teak's side, but I still wasn't low-key buying it. And it reminded me like of the 5 stages of grief. And I feel like this is low-key like an acceptance stage. Like, y'all. So y'all, I know probably every person, especially every woman who saw this scene or these montages of scenes heart. Like, I was so like, I don't even know if I can describe it. Like, it was really a lot. It was really a lot. Okay. So we see Mercedes, I'm sorry, Mississippi, all these M's, y'all. We see Mississippi at home, and you could tell she got a lot on her mind. So she goes inside the little vent and she shows the gun. So she's had the gun in the vent, and she takes the gun out, the little cute pink gun out that she got from Autumn. She takes it out, put it in her bag, and she proceeds to get the kids and go in the car, right? So she goes and she's like, okay, you want to go on the trip? Like, you can tell she's just so happy. I'm like, oh my God, she is about to leave this man, y'all. So I'm so excited. I just can't hide it, y'all. I am pumped to the up, okay? And y'all, the car would not start. The car would not start. And I immediately knew Derek did something to that car. I'm not a big car person. And it's funny because I just actually saw a reality show. What is it called? The Platfields. It's about this interesting Caucasian family. But in this reality show, there's about these siblings, they're roommates, and the girl didn't do the dishes, so the brother took, I don't know if it was he did something to the transmission, I think. So when she tried to leave, she couldn't leave because she didn't do the dishes. So I immediately thought of this. I'm like, oh, okay, your boy did something to the car. So she goes in the trunk to get some tools or what have you, and whatever she was looking for was gone. And y'all see that on the bottom left. And so she realizes, like, oh wow, I'm stuck. And I think she realized Derek did something. I mean, of course, I feel like it's kind of evident, but we see her take the kids in the bag back in the house. Y'all, talk about heartbreak. Oh God, it was a lot. Like, oh my God, like they really took me on an emotional roller coaster. Emotional roller coaster. Woo, child. Shout out to Vivian Green. All right, that was my song. But yes, y'all, that was a lot. And I forgot to mention, Derek actually went to, I guess, a little cookout or barbecue, and she decided to stay back. But he also mentioned, he talked about Rome and Rome dying, and Derek gonna talk about he was such a good guy too. I'm like, Derek. But of course, in his terms, Rome was probably a good guy because y'all all creeps. All right. So we see Teak and Murda. They at the gas station, y'all. Teak talk about he just food and bought me a new car, but he had the nerve and the decency to fill up the tank. I'm like, that's some Negro-ish, okay? That's some Negro-ish. You got me probably roll over here in a quarter tank in a new car. Come on, bruh. Come on. But I love to see, because we see here, Teak, he's been in jail, so a lot of the technology he's not familiar with. And honestly, I feel like he probably either never had a car or never really probably had to pump gas, because it seems like he's been in jail since he was young. But maybe I'm reaching, I don't know, but he definitely don't know how to work no debit card, okay, at no pump. And I was like, Murda, you need to also tell Teak to kind of pull on the insert part, because y'all know there's these scammers over here be having little credit card readers at these pumps, trying to steal your coin or what have you. So yeah, you need to, I always, if I do use my card at the pump, I barely get gas. My husband normally get gas, but I always kind of tug on that part where you insert the card, because sometimes there's a little false part on top of it. And I don't know if they're doing it everywhere. They've definitely have found those things in the city I live in. But yeah, it's definitely a scamming trick if y'all didn't know. But he was like, yeah, I don't know how to work this. So we see Murda over there showing Teak on how to use the debit card to get gas. All right. So they hear in the car next to them, like, Murda was like, they playing my song on the radio? They're playing my song on the radio. So yeah, so they over there celebrating. Teak over there telling everybody to turn to the station that they're playing it. We see Murda on top of the car getting turned up. Okay, they're having a good old moment. And you can see Teak just looking up. He's looking up at Murda with just such glee and happiness. And I don't know if I'm reaching, but I'm like, I feel like the blocking here, the positioning of this scene also was kind of telling me, like, here we have this guy in red, signifies hell, looking up at heaven per se, with Murda over here in the all white, because of course Murda is in here in the all white. And I saw it that way. I mean, I could be reaching, who knows, but yes, y'all, that was interesting to me. And so a car comes up behind them and honking the horn, like, y'all almost done. And I'm like, can't you see me celebrating? And Teak pretty much said the same thing. And he was about to roll up on that fool, okay? But Murda stopped him. And yeah, I'm like, come on now, that's rude. You got to wait. If you go to it, I mean, I understand every pump was full, but don't come to the fools that obviously probably like they packing and trying to sun them. Like, no, we don't do that. We don't do that over here, okay? Calm down, pump your brakes. So, welcome to the You Got Served Stripper Edition. Okay, so we at the Spades tournament, okay? And we have Roulette over here on top, and we have Whisper over here at the bottom, okay? Because this scene was pretty much set up as a competition. We see that Roulette and Whisper going back and forth on the poles, getting the crowd's participation. They're trying to show what they are made of. I was like, both of these moves are hella impressive, okay? Hella impressive. And y'all, the winner is seemingly Roulette. Look at this move. Like, I'm like, how in the feet? How do you got shoes on, girl? Like, how is this? What's going on? But y'all, if y'all really pay attention to this scene, pay attention to the arms and the face. is pretty much another imagery trick showing the devil. If y'all really are paying attention, like it took me a minute to see this, but I was like, wow. And if y'all look at the people, it looks on the bottom, it looks like souls. Like you can kind of see it looks really soul-ish. Like there's like dead souls or what have you. Like, and this phone, I believe this is a phone that somebody has up. It looks kind of like a door in a sense. And we see that there's some seemingly light coming down on the pole, but it also can signify like hell and light coming through from above. So y'all whoo, I'm gonna move on, y'all. I need to go pray, child. So we see Roulette is going through some mental things going on here because I feel like she's either feeling unworthy or her self-esteem is being questioned, because it seems as though the crowd is kind of cheering Roulette on a little more, maybe because of her fair skin. And look at the wig she's wearing. Look at the wig, half red, half white. No, I don't think she's trying to pay homage to, 101 Dalmatians, kind of, or not no Nicki Minaj. I feel like this is very intentional, showing half devil and half angel. And she sees this guy, right? And it's the first guy that was in I think the first episode or one of the first episodes where she gave the little sloppy toppy to, okay? And look at the back of his t-shirt. I was trying to figure out, I should have went back, but when I caught this shot, I'm like, what are you trying to represent? Like, I'm not sure if it says apocalypse or whatever, but yeah, the imagery look a little scary, y'all. Look a little scary. But yes, he was asking Roulette to get Whisper for him because he would pay Whisper $2K to perform oral on her. And she was like, dang, I wish I had that privilege. I got $1K for being on my knees. And you offering this fair-skinned chick $2K to lay on her back? Like, what in the colorism is going on here? So you could tell she's hesitant. She was like, I don't think she get down like that. And I was like, yeah, boy, I don't think she gonna get down like that. And especially, I don't want Whisper all on my body parts. You already know that girl got some spirits going on up in there, okay? She probably, put her mouth on that thing and, can speak to every woman that's been on that thing. On the souls and the spirits, child. Oh, Lord, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, y'all. But yes, like you could tell she's hesitant. She ain't really feeling the whole situation, y'all. So, y'all, on this week, on the old and the sexless, child. I forgot to mention, I was so caught up in that shot I got of Mercedes leaving Shell's house. She got a call from Coach. And Coach was like, let's finish this Mercedes experience. It was kind of eerie. And I guess that's also letting us know that he didn't know that Farrah and Mercedes previously hooked up. So that answered the question for us. And she wasn't feeling that. She was like, I just want to be with you. He was like, well, my wife really wants to finish this. And, happy wife, happy life. And so, of course, they're also telling us that, okay, Farrah and Mercedes hooking up definitely is unbeknownst to the Coach, okay? So she gets a call from Terica because Shell don't know where the hell Terica is. And I'm like, oh, my God. And you refusing Mercedes to have her? Well, we know it's all in spite. But I'm just like, you don't even know where this child is. You ain't got no food up in there. You had the empty boxes from old trifling grandmama Patrice over there. Child, it's a lot. So this shot was funny to me because you see Coach is all like on the couch and he's oblivious to how Mercedes and his wife are looking at each other and endearing each other. And I was just like, wow, he just not paying attention. And this shot here, it kind of shows me that he's standing up and these two women are sitting down. So for me, I feel like with the blocking of it all, and blocking, if y'all not aware, is pretty much the positioning of the figures and the characters in the shot, okay? And it shows me right here that he seemingly is in power, standing, and over, on top of these women per se, but little does he know eventually he's going to realize that he hasn't been in power. These women have been holding the power, really, the white pharaoh over there. But I definitely like this shot because he thinks he has everything under control. But so we see Autumn Nightmare. She's going to this political event. And I believe, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the same plantation that the Cracker Toll was held when Derek took Mississippi to the little Christmas formal. And we know this is a small town. They're going to use certain venues, plenty of times, okay? So we over here seeing Andre Obama over here giving his little spew, trying to get the people on his side for his little race. I was like, yes, vote Obama. Vote Andre Watkins. Okay. He was definitely killing us with the Obama hand mannerisms. Like, it was hilarious to me. I was like, ooh, Andre, a nice little tux and a haircut did a lot for you, bruh. Mm-hmm. And look at Corbett. Corbett, was looking kind of cute too. Yeah, I had to just take this little shot of Corbett. So we see at the space tournament, Roulette is over here looking at the girls, dancing with the guys. And you could tell she's just not feeling it. And I was just like, well, are you standing in this mirror because nobody wanted you to dance for them? Or you just don't want to dance for nobody? Like, you could tell she's kind of going through some self-esteem issues. So she goes into the parking lot. And Duffy comes out and she was like, what you doing, stalking me? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, why? Because I'm so pretty. I'm so beautiful. He's like, yeah. He was like, oh, she was like, I know you lying now. And I'm like, oh, yeah, she definitely is having esteem issues. And so, y'all, this scene was funny to me because, they... I'm sorry. I just can't contain myself. And this part was too cute and funny. So he was like, you're the most beautiful, most beautifulest girl in the world. And just like that. Shout out to Keith Murray, y'all. But she was like, well, I'm a hoe. He was like, you know what? I'm a hoe too. I was like, okay, we have something in common. Shout out to Whitney and Bobby, okay? But yes, I was like, I am here for the transparency of it all, okay? I am here for it. Let us know what it is. Let each other know what it is. So yeah, y'all, but we see also, I'm not sure if I'm reading much into it, but we see that the red part is showing in this scene, the devil part, y'all, the devil part of the wig, okay? So back at Threesome gone wrong. Okay, we see Coach getting it in. He's pleasuring Mercedes, and Farrah's kind of on the side, doing some other things to her body, and he's noticing that Mercedes is really reacting to this. So we see on the top right figure, they're really locking eyes with each other, really in tune. And then we see on the bottom left on that picture, they're holding hands. So he's looking like, what the hell is going on between the sheets in my home? Because he's like, this don't feel right. So on the bottom right, we see he was like, oh, yeah, you been cheating on me, Farrah? You been cheating on me? And so he was like, I know when two women done been together before. Y'all done been together before without me. And telling Mercedes, you was supposed to be for me. I said, what in the greedy niggadom is this? What in the greedy of niggadom is this? And I'm like, Coach was so mad, y'all. He was big mad. Okay. So Farrah over there telling him like, I couldn't get nothing either. I couldn't join the party. Like, we've been together for 19 years, okay? 19 years. And you don't know I like the P too. I said, oh, Farrah just came out the closet like this. Oh, okay. And Coach looking like, what the hell? What the hell? And so he blaming Mercedes. You done turned my wife out. You done turned my wife out. I said, see. And then he proceeds to low key like assault her. Like not even low key assault her. He grabs her arm and he was like, you need to get out. Like he really started demeaning Mercedes. And she was like, dang, bro, you hurting me. You hurting me. And so he was like, get out, get out. And she was like, not without my 40 bands, not without my 40 bands. Okay. And I'm like, okay, was he paying up front for the month, or has it been going on for a month, I guess? And then, this is the money that they're owed. Cause I don't know, you're not about to just be paying me for, at a month at a time. I mean, I guess you can, but I'm like, I want my weekly installments. Okay, weekly installments. But this also shows like the 10K that Farrah gave her last week. That was on top. On top, it was a little cute little bonus. Okay, and so he he was not about to pay her, and so Farrah was like, no, a deal's a deal. You can't break a deal. So she was low key advocating for Mercedes to get her money. So he begrudgingly like went ahead and got the money. We see him over there with the money on the table, and Mercedes just like, this fool. So Sarah, we see Farrah goes ahead and give her stripper shoes. And y'all, please let me know in the comments. It seems like Mercedes didn't even get the money from Coach. Like she was so disgusted. Like I watched the scene, like I rewinded it like 2 times, and it seems like she just left without getting the 40 bands. Like, please let me know if I'm wrong. I don't know if the editing was off, but I know P Valley is very intentional. So I don't think they would mess up like that if they meant to show she took the money. But it looks like she did not take that money, y'all. Like, I guess that's the integrity of her, but give me my bread, y'all, for, my pain and suffering, okay? Pay me for my pain. So we see Big Teak and Little Murda there, pulling up to this house, and Murda is on a phone with Wode, okay? And Wode, I'll go here. Wode is pretty much saying, hey, Tina Snow wants apparently they did a song with Tina Snow, and they want Murda to go on tour with her. So he was all happy and everything. So Teak gets out the car and goes into this house. And so Murda thinks that is like a trap house that he's getting some weed from or what have you. But look at this shot, y'all. Look at the lighting on the side of the house, and look at Teak going into the house. I felt like something eerie is going on here. But while he's in the house, Woody was like, we gotta fire Teak. He a little too much. He a little too much to be security. Like, we don't need that liability. And Murda was like, I'm not firing him. I'm not firing him. And I don't know if I'm reading too much into it. When I hear about firing, it has the word fire, which signifies devil. Like, I'm just pieceling all these things in, y'all. So if I'm wrong, if I'm reaching, y'all can let me know. But at this point, I'm paying attention to everything, okay? Everything, all right? So Teak goes into this house, and y'all, it's a trap house. We see people, looks like possibly having sex, people on drugs, little, kid watching TV, like it looks real sad in there. And he proceeds to go in this room, and we see this cross on the left-hand side of this door. And so just the lighting, I swear the lighting is so good. So he opens this closet and see this imagery of this little boy that's bloody. And I immediately realized, okay, he is familiar with this house, and this is him. And so while he's walking to this door, we hear pretty much a woman screaming at her kids. And it's not necessarily what's going on in the house right now. It's definitely a recanting of some experience that he's had. So, the woman, she's crying, and well, the kids are crying, and she's yelling at her children while he's opening this door. So Little Murda, and he's in the car and realizes that because his phone died. So he was looking for a charger in the glove compartment, and he didn't find the charger, but he saw that Teak's gun was in the glove compartment. So as soon as when Teak opened the door, he came behind Teak in the trap house. He's like, fool, what you doing over here, leaving your glizzy going into a trap house? So Teak proceeds to put the gun in his waist behind him. And I was like, oh, this gun is going to be used for something, and I'm scared. I'm hella scared at this point. So Teak, when Murda comes in, Teak looks at the closet again and is like, just some, materials in there. The little boy wasn't in there. So we know he's definitely imagining some horrific things that went on. But you notice the little blood and stuff on the little boy's arm and shoulder. So Autumn, she's at this event, with Andre, what have you. So she gets in because she assumes the identity of some woman. And Corbett actually kicked her out, but she waited for the same woman that identity she assumed to come into the event. And she tells them that the important meeting or business dealings are being held in this cigar room. So she, pretty much finesses her way to go into this room with the woman. Apparently, she is the widow of the casino owner, or at least one of the owners. I believe the other guy was there. And she, Loki, is pretty much trying to get the money. She's trying to get the money for the pink, what it's worth, the $10 million. And she's pretty much using this woman to try to get it. So, y'all, back at the house, Grandma, oh my God. Her sugar normal, which is abnormal because she has diabetes, and she is sweating, y'all. Grandma over there coughing, hacking, sweating, and I'm like, Clifford, is all the hospitals like closed? Like, bruh, something's obviously going on with Grandma, and we know we in the world of COVID. I mean, I don't know if he's just being naive. I understand they're in a small town, so they may not have like a big hospital. They got a clinic. They got something. We saw Keyshawn last week taking the baby to the doctor. So y'all got some facility to take Grandma at, okay? So he realized something ain't up. So he goes and calls Toy. And he was like, how you feeling? She was like, Clifford. He was like, oh, I know that wasn't no allergy. So he's insinuating that, he knows that Toy has the vid, okay? And because he knows Grandma was around Toy. But I was like, Clifford, that was your negligence. You shouldn't have had Grandma over there at the paint. She had no need to be at the paint. She wasn't over there fixing nothing, repairing nothing. Like, I understand it was a curfew and maybe you didn't want Grandma to be alone at home, but I'm pretty sure that woman have been alone in the house before. Like, yes, she's blind, but she knows her way around her house. Like, give Grandma a little bit of weed and some drink and put on her programs and she would have been fine, okay? Like, you should have kept Grandma home. Your fault, Clifford. Your fault, all right? Like, I was big pissed, all right? So oh Lord, this scene right here. Okay, so Andre comes back to his house because he got a house now, y'all. And so he's on the phone with Corbin. He was like, that what did he call her? What did he call it? Effing Autumn Fenty Savage. Autumn Fenty Savage. Autumn Fenty Savage, okay? So he mad at Autumn because of course she's trying to run the check up, okay? And I want to go back a little bit at the speech. I mean, at the little event that Andre had. Autumn asked him a question. She said, what makes you think prosperity is for all? And he said, coming from a drug addicted mom and a father who died when he was young, I believe he was 7 when his father died. Don't quote me. But he was like, the fact that I'm here, a college graduate, able to run for office, that shows prosperity is possible. And so I love the fact that it was able to sprinkle in some of Andre's backstory. And I was very intrigued by that, okay? And also, I'm sorry, I meant to mention when Wode and Murda was on the phone, Wode mentioned that Rome OD'd. And so remember, the vlogs, nobody is telling how Rome died. So Murda was like, how you know he OD'd? And so he low-key admitted it, like, hey, if you couldn't handle business, I had to handle it, okay? So I thought that was, a cool way of whoa, they low key confessing. Okay. But let's get back to the scene. We see Miss Jessica Rabbit over here. And I'm like, how you done snuck in this man's house, Miss Savage? Mind you, that's the episode's name, okay? Miss Savage, okay? She over there looking all cute in the cut like True Lies. I remember True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. She over there like in the dark, okay? He kind of scares her. And so, Andre, he's fake mad at her, okay? Fake mad. And he low-key tries to kick her out. And he was like, you know what? I let you win. I let you win at that auction, okay? She was like, you right. You right. And you have the power. You have the power, dear sir. So what do you want me to do? I was like, oh, it's about to go down finally. Cause I'm like, I'm so over this back and forth, this tension, this sexual tension. Okay. And he was like, oh, she trying to role play. So he was like, take your clothes off and crawl. So she does that. I was like, okay, Miss Whatever You Like. Whatever you like, y'all. Miss Whatever You Like. Miss Autumn / Haley sounds like Keisha. Okay, Miss Whatever You Like. And she crawls over there to him. And y'all, they proceeds to do it. And they had Wale Band playing. That's my song. I was like, yes, this is sexy. Okay. I don't know. I wanted to see. I mean, it wasn't a bad scene, but I don't know. I expect a little more with all this tension. What is this? The 15th, 16th episode of the show? Counting season 1 and 2. I expected just a little more. But it was cute for what it was. And so there was also a moment where he was kind of grabbing her neck when she was on top, and she kind of moved his hand. And I was like, I wonder if that's a sign of an abused woman, because we know she had some domestic situations with Montavious. And, she just kind of just smoothly moved his hand from her neck to, the rest of her body. But she proceeds to put her hand on his neck. So I was just like, oh, what is this? What are y'all telling me? But yeah, I don't know if everybody caught that, but that was definitely interesting. Okay. So we see Teak and Murda. They over there by this body of water. And they over there, singing So Fresh and So Clean. Okay, ain't nobody. I dress so fresh and so clean. And they over there mumbling part of the words like we always do, because we don't be knowing all the words these artists. I don't know. That immediately reminded me of Bone Thugs and Harmony, because we don't know what the heck they be saying 80% of the time. So we just mumbling through the the lyrics, because yeah, we don't know what's going on. So they pretty much oh Lord, this scene is coming to a close, y'all. It's coming to a close. So Teak starts singing another song. And I was like, okay, what is this? And so Murda was like, what artist was that? It was kind of like some slaw. And he was like, that's your work, fool. That's your song. That was one of them, toilet paper songs gave me in the pen, okay? And he was like, really? He was like, yes, from 2017. Yes, sir. That's all you. That is all you, okay? And so I was like, wow, he done memorized this man's song, child. Whew, this is so deep. So, they proceed to talk about, just being in the pen, and he is recanting how he felt when Bootsy was attacking Little Murda. And he was like, the devil was in him, and I recognized it because I saw that before in my mama. So he tells this kind of the story how his mom attacked him, or attacked his siblings. She stabbed her 5-year-old child in the chest, her 8-month-old child in the head. He was 7, so he ran seemingly in the closet, hence the little boy in the closet. And she attacked her oldest son. So he was like, you think these 3 tears on my face, this tattoo is of people like murder? He was like, no, this is for LaChina, Rashida, and Quell. So his siblings. And he was like, and I forgot to mention, that house that he went to was his childhood home. Okay. And so when him and Murda were, outside leaving the house, little Murda, pretty much stated, um, what did he say? He said, now we both saying goodbye tonight. We leaving all that negativity in the air. And when he said that, I was like, oh, hit another piece of dialogue that's going to be telling, right? So, oh my God. So yeah, Teak said my story was supposed to end in that house. Like you could tell he's mourning, he has guilt because he probably feels like I shouldn't have made it out that situation. He probably feels guilt that he's the one that survived of his parents. He's also have an extra layer because his mom attacked her kids. And if we remember a few episodes ago, I believe when him and Murda was on tour in the hotel room, he mentioned something about his mom not wanting to be, or him not feeling worthy of being alive, something of that effect. So this man has true trauma, not just, yeah, he has Black man trauma. He has, incarceration trauma. He has some like real deep childhood stuff going on. I was like, wow, everything makes sense. Not that it didn't before, but this really shows like, oh, wow, he has been through a lot. Okay. Like it's, oh my God, child, it's a lot. And so we see this shot of them two on top of the car and they're overlooking this water. And it looks like a little light. If y'all see like a little tunnel of light from the water. So it looks like the reflection from the moon in the water, y'all. So deep. So I should have put a little trigger warning, y'all. I'm sorry. A trigger warning because Murda tried to drop Murda off. And he was like, I'm gonna take you to the cut. He was like, no, I already know you. I'm not gonna sit you here and let you wallow in your thoughts. Like, I'm staying here. So he tells Murda, like, no, you gotta go. And so he, puts a gun to his head, and I'm just like, I feel for people that goes through these things. I myself had an ex-boyfriend who committed suicide. And it's heavy. It's definitely heavy. So anybody that is, a victim of feeling this way or has someone in their lives or they're, that had to deal with this, like, geez, it's mental health and just, oh yeah, it's so heavy. Like, if y'all can tell, like my voice gotta just, it's a lot. So we see Murda. He's over there trying his hardest to stop Teak. He was like, no, we have so much to live for. We got houses to buy, cars to buy, babies to make. We got so much. I owe you my life. I can't let you do this. And Teak is like, I can't see it. It ain't no more light for me. I see it for you. Murda is like, I see it for you. And we saw in the beginning of the episode all the lighting, all the signs between the devil and just the light shining on Teak. And of course, we see his sweater. And there's just so much going on here. And y'all, it's a lot. It's a lot. So he tries to talk him off the ledge, and they don't show it, but they show Murda coming out of the car all bloody. Okay. And you can just see the hurt, like the acting between these two in this scene. Superb, y'all. Superb. But before he died, died, he said, I'm just so tired. And so we see Mercedes, she at the house drinking and smoking. Child, I didn't think she did all that, but I guess her little situation with the threesome going wrong, she had no she had no choice but to turn to the bottle, Lord. I'm like, we can't have two shells going on up in here. She gets a knock at the door. Terica comes to her crying. This child pregnant, y'all. So there's so many things going on here. One, seemingly she's in this well-to-do situation, of course, before COVID, this nice big house, but the insides is trash. The insides is trash. There's no real love per se. And she still found herself low-key repeating the cycle of teenage pregnancy. Of course, Mercedes, she did not want that for her child. There's been writings on the wall. Mercedes just trying to drill it to her head, like, you don't want to be like me. You don't want to be like me. No, you're not a mistake, but you don't want to be like me, right? And so we have that layer. And then at the end of the day, we have a teenage girl who's pregnant. And I can see, there's no love in the home. She's able to run amok because Shell over there taking naps at 3 in the afternoon. In the previous scene when Mercedes went to Shell's house, she was like, Terica was with her friend. So when she mentioned one of her friends' names, Shell was like, who? So Shell don't seem to even know her friends' names. Mercedes was trying to get a hold of her. So she's probably spending a lot of time at some little boy house being grown and fresh. But y'all, this is going to be interesting. So I'm also curious, is this somehow, I don't know, some real weird reason I feel like this may bring Patrice and Mercedes close together. I don't know. Let's get out of here, guys. This is a long review. So Murda comes out. He goes to Cliff's house and Grandma opens the door, struggling down the steps, coughing and hacking. I'm like, Lord, Grandma about to probably die, y'all. And I called it like maybe episode 1. I'm not sure if it was a review or a panel I was on. But I did say people who dismiss COVID, especially older people, those are the people that typically succumbs to COVID, right? So Cliffs comes to the door and Murda is there, and look at this beautiful scene. It looks like some flowers. There's nice imagery in between them, and little Murda says, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And you see Clifford embraces him because that's his spirit. He mothers the girls at the Pink. So now he's, just consoling his love. It was such a beautiful scene. I'm so glad Murda went to somebody to seek solace, because he could have easily got high or been violent or, just try to mask his hurt in another way. So I'm glad he was able to reach out for help in that way from Clifford, y'all. Like, it was a beautiful, beautiful scene. Okay. And, this is also, I just did a little montage of photos that kind of showed the light in the beginning of the episode for Teak. And we also see like kind of the demonic figures. There were a lot more, but I just wanted to display these images, y'all, because geez, it was heavy. It was heavy. And so, y'all, with the truth scale, please rate the episode. I give it an A. It was definitely a great episode. It was heavy. They did it beautifully. I definitely appreciated the art that they gave us. Everyone on the staff and in the cast, kudos to you guys. Kudos to you guys. Okay. And I also wanted to mention one little thing. Big Bone, in the beginning of the episode, she mentioned that she noticed that Diamond wasn't truly focused on her physically and mentally per se, and that but she kind of knows based on the rumblings at the Pink that he kind of fell for Keyshawn, because I feel like somebody said it, but she was like, next time you need to be focused on me. I don't know. I just found her. We all have women's intuition, but I feel like her intuition is a little scary. Like, she's very aware, and that should be a good thing. But in this situation, I feel like it's a bad thing, because I don't want nothing to happen to Diamond. Okay, can't nothing happen to Diamond. Okay, but y'all, please, let's get down in the comments, please. Please support your girl, okay? Please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. Let's get into it. I'm thinking about possibly going live later on this evening. We'll see how that goes based on my schedule, y'all. But please, let's discuss how you felt about this episode. And yes, enjoy the rest of your day. Toodles.